Hello everyone. I hope you all are good. You are fit and fine. Very warm welcome everyone. Very warm welcome to ITLS Academy. In today's lecture, we are going to see the process of gastrulation and development of mouse embryonic primordial germ cells. If we talk about previous lecture, we have seen the process of fertilization, movement of the zygote from the ovary to the uterine wall for the implantation, and we have also seen many things, many stages like morula, blastula, gastrula, etc. In this lecture, we will see what is the process of gastrulation. Gastrulation starts after the implantation of the blastocyst in the embryo. Blastocyst develops in the a mass of cell that is known as gastrula, and this gastrula start gastrulation. So we can say that gastrulation is the initial step for the development of an embryo. So let us start. The blastocyst becomes a gastrula. The blastocyst develops and forms gastrula. Very first point is at the start of the third week of human development and about E6, that is sixth day in the mouse, the egg cylinder stage, and sixth day the stage in mouse is known as the egg cylinder stage. The cells of the epiblast begin to differentiate. If you remember, the cells of the epiblast and the hypoblast formed after the implantation in the case of humans, while these layers formed in the case of mouse embryo before the implantation. So at the start of gastrulation, these cells begin to differentiate. By the end of the third week, they will have generated the three primary germ layers. Gastrula forms three germ layers. I hope you all remember what are three germ layers. These are ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. These layers formed by the gastrula. Endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. A detailed description of all the events of this critical stage of differentiation known as gastrulation. Here it is. What is gastrulation? So we can say that a process of formation of these three germ layers is known as gastrulation. The process of gastrulation begins between day 14 and 16 of human development and at about day 6.5, that is 6.5 in the case of mouse. Next point. The forward migration of the posterior epiblast cells occurs as their cell-to-cell contact break down and they release enzymes that digest the basement membrane. The forward moving epiblast cells also spread laterally, a migration that induces the formation of the mesoderm and the notochord. The ventral layer of cells in the node comes from the epiblast and generates the notochordal plate. This notochordal plate, which then forms the notochord endodome, which will give rise to the gut. So you can see here that epiblast cells are responsible for the formation of endodome. Uh, uh, for sorry, these epiblast cells are responsible for the formation of notochord, and endodermal cells are responsible for the gut or the digestive system. Coming to the next point, the anterior region of the mesoderm that develops from the primitive striate is preparing to give rise to the heart. So here we can say that all three germ layers started differentiating. How they are doing their differentiation? Let us see. First is ectoderm. Ectoderm is giving rise to notochord. This notochord will further give rise to nervous system. Next one is endoderm. Endoderm will give rise to gut. What kind of gut is this? It may be of a digestive gut, it may be of a respiratory gut. So we can say that digestive system, respiratory system, and apart from this many systems like kidney and our excretory system and many more systems that contain gut are formed by this endoderm. Coming to the mesoderm, mesoderm gives rise to heart. So we can say that mesoderm is responsible for the formation of our circulatory system. This is how the process of gastrulation form all three germ layers, and in further these three germ layers are responsible for the formation of all types of organs in our body. Another point given here is the ectodermal tissues that lies dorsal to the notochord will generate the neural plate, which will round up to form the neural tube, and this neural tube is the precursor to the central nervous system, or we can say that after differentiation this neural tube will form the nervous system. Thus, we can say that by the end of third week of embryonic development in humans and by the 8th day, the mouse, that is E8.0 in the mouse, the primitive ectoderm of the post-implantation blastocyst has generated all the three germ layers that is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm of the gastrula. Here in this picture you can see very beautifully all the things are given. Here is our zygote that is formed after the process of fertilization. This zygote differentiate into blastocyst. Further, this blastocyst forms gastrula. Let me draw all these stages. First, there is fertilization. Next is formation of zygote. Zygote will give rise to morula. Morula will differentiate into blastula or blastocyst. And ultimately, this blastula will give rise to gastrula. These are the stages of development. This is the formation, fusion of egg and sperm. This is zygote. This morula is at a celled stage, and further comes blastula, at which stage implantation occurs. This blastula after implantation differentiates into gastrula, and this gastrula on the other hand gives rise to all three germ layers. These three germ layers will finally form an whole adult body. So, in this diagram, we are going to see that although these three germ layers are formed, what structure these germ layers will form in human body. Gastrula. You can see how the structure of gastrula looks like. This is a uterine wall and this is implanted gastrula in the uterine wall. This gastrula forms three layers: endoderm, mesoderm and ectoderm. Apart from these, germ layers or germ cells are also formed. This endoderm is internal layer, mesoderm is the middle layer and ectoderm is the external layer. Here you can see this is ectoderm, this is internal, this is external layer. This is internal layer known as endoderm and this is a middle layer that will known as mesoderm. So let us see one by one what all three germ layers form. First is ectoderm. Ectoderm, as we know that ectoderm forms notochord and nerve card and this will give rise to skin cells of epidermis. Epidermis is the outer layer of anything, even our body, outer layer of any thing that is skin or anything, any organ is known as epidermis and it will be formed by the ectoderm. Next is neurons of brain. These will also be formed by the ectoderm and pigment cell. pigment cell. As we know that in case of humans, the pigment cells are melanocyte. So melanocytes will also be formed by the ectoderm, that is from the outer layer of the gastrula. Next one is endoderm or internal layer. Internal layer will form lung cells or alveolar cells. We can say that respiratory system. These are thyroid cells and pancreatic cells. These all kind of cells will be formed by the endoderm or internal layer, or this layer of the gastrula. Next one is mesoderm. Mesoderm is the middle layer of this gastrula, and this mesoderm will form cardiac muscles, skeletal muscle cells, tubule cells of the kidneys, red blood cells, and smooth muscle cells. So we can say that circulatory system, blood hematopoietic system, muscle cells, muscular system, and our excretory system. These all systems will be generated by the mesoderm or the middle layer of the gastrula. Here in this diagram, you can see the development of human embryonic tissues is shown. How human embryonic tissues are formed, you can easily understand from this image. These stages are given from the day 0 to day 16. Till the 16th day, all the stages of human embryonic tissues are given in this diagram. These are extra embryonic tissues, and here these are embryonic tissues. If I do a clear cut division, you can see here extra embryonic and embryonic tissues. Extra embryonic tissues include, this is fertilized egg. Fertilized egg will form blastocyst. Blastocyst will differentiate into trophoblast and inner cell mass. This trophoblast will differentiate into cytotrophoblast, and this cytotrophoblast on the other hand will form syncytotrophoblast. If we talk about the inner cell mass will differentiate into hypoblast and epiblast. This hypoblast will give rise to extra embryonic endoderm, and further it will give rise to yolk sac, while the epiblast will differentiate into amniotic ectoderm and primitive ectoderm. This primitive ectoderm will form primitive streak and embryonic ectoderm. This primitive streak will further differentiate into embryonic endoderm and embryonic mesoderm. While you can see primitive ectoderm directly forms embryonic ectoderm. This primitive streak also forms extra embryonic mesoderm. All these tissues, you can see how these all tissues are formed from the single fertilized egg. From the zygote is a cell that is capable of give rise to whole body. All the tissues, all the cells can be formed from this single zygote. Here the differentiation stages are given. This is fertilized egg. Fertilized egg on the fifth day will become blastocyst. On the day 6 to 7, there is formation of inner cell mass and trophoblast. On the day 8 to 9, this inner cell mass will differentiate into epiblast and hypoblast. On the 12th day, this will differentiate into syncytiotropoblast and the cytotropoblast. This trophoblast layer will differentiate on day 12. On the day 14, this blastocyst stage will develop into gastrula. On the 15th day, this gastrula will form primitive streak. This is primitive streak stage. Further, on the day 16, this primitive streak will form embryonic ectoderm, embryonic mesoderm, and embryonic endoderm. So here is all how this gastrula differentiate and forms all three germ layers. This is all about development of human embryonic tissues. How these embryonic tissues are formed, you can easily understand from this chart. This is a very beautiful diagram to understand all the things clearly. You can understand all the things in a single chart as the days are shown here, fertilization stages are shown here, and also the embryonic tissues are shown. Embryonic tissues, extraembryonic and embryonic tissues, all the things are given in a single chart. So this is the best chart you have ever seen. Guys, take the screenshot of this if you want, and keep it. Remember, this is very important cheese. This single chart will clear most of the things you want to learn. Primordial germ cells are the precursors to the eggs and sperm. First point, here P is missing. This is primordial germ cells, that is PG cells in short, which will give rise to eggs and sperm in the adult organism. We have seen that how the zygote develops into various kind of cells, how the whole human body forms, but now we are going to see how this zygote forms, how the development of zygote occurs. So for the formation of the zygote, there is fusion of eggs and sperms occur. These eggs and sperms are produced by the primordial germ cells. This primordial germ cell will give rise to egg and sperm, and upon fusion, these two will form zygote. Next point, their location in the tissue, which is remote from the rest of the embryo's body. Let me show you one thing. I think I forgot to tell you, this gastrula also forms germ cell. This germ cell will form sperm and egg. So you can see apart from endoderm, mesoderm and ectoderm, germ cells are also formed by the gastrula, and these germ cells are primordial germ cells that will give rise to sperms and eggs. So their location of the primordial germ cells in this body is remote from the rest of the embryo's body or somatic cells. Somatic cells are endoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm will form somatic cells, while you have seen that germ cells are apart from all these layers, and these may allow primordial germ cells to avoid some of the events that drive somatic cells through the process of differentiation. Prior to gastrulation, at about the time of primitive streak formation, these precursor primordial germ cells split off from the proximal region of the epiblast and migrate into the extra embryonic mesoderm. If we talk about the differentiation of these primordial germ cells, so one such event is a DNA methylation. Methylation of DNA occurs. This is of silencing gene inherited from one parent, and this is a process termed as genomic imprinting. Next point, another feature that distinguishes primordial germ cells from somatic cells is their continuous expression of OCT4. OCT4 is a signaling molecule that is responsible for the differentiation. This is a transcription factor produced by proliferating unspecialized cells. Later in the development, the primordial germ cells embark in another migration and ultimately come to the rest in the genital ridge. Genital ridge is the tissue that will give rise to gonads, that is testes in male and ovaries in case of females. Here in this diagram you can see development of mouse embryonic primordial germ cell is given. This is sperm and egg fertilization. After the fertilization, formation of blastocyst. This blastocyst on the day E5.5 gives rise to primordial germ cell precursors. Further, on day E7.5, these primordial germ cells are formed. On the day E8.5, primordial germ cells. Migration of primordial germ cell start at the day 8.5. On the day E10.5, there is formation of genital ridge. As, as we have studied that genital ridge is the tissue that is responsible to give rise to gonads, that is testes in males and ovaries in females. Here, fetal growth starts and further this develops in a mature mouse. This is the stage of maturity. This is all about the development of mouse embryonic primordial germ cells. So thank you guys. We have seen almost all the important points in the development processes of humans and in as well as in the case of mouse. Thank you very much everyone for watching this session. Follow ITLS Academy on various social media platforms and also subscribe our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you can get notified whenever there is an upload. You can also get it on Google Play Store. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for connecting with ITLS Academy. Stay connected. Thank you.